I just glanced in Mom's fridge and her vegetable drawer, and she has this half head of cabbage here that needs to be used. It's not wasted, but it's definitely seen better days. It will take removing the outer leaves, and I'll shave the face of that where it's been cut. And then I'm gonna put it with some carrots for a vegetable. I just got Mom's ice cream bucket, waste bucket, so that we can take this out. Kind of a interesting note. Last night, Mom had me order a Wonder Mill Junior grain mill, and even though it's quite expensive, we opted for it because she didn't want to have to rely on an electric. And the Wonder Mill is a wonderful electric mill, but I agree with her. I'd rather have the hand crank that has the adapter to use a drill than something that is strictly electric. Had more money, maybe if I needed to do that much grinding. Normally I don't have to grind more than a few pounds at a time. So that was what the two of us came up with and chose. They're back ordered, they're out of stock. We ended up going through Pleasant Mill Grains, who's an authorized distributor for the Wonder Mill, because they actually came up with the best price and actually said why they don't have them, where some of the other places didn't even list the Wonder Mill Junior anymore. Because it's out of stock. But they had a date on the Pleasant Hill. If I said it's Pleasantville, I'm sorry. It's Pleasant Hill Grains. They're out of Nebraska. And that's where we ended up going through. They actually said that there's a date on it, but that you could pre-order, which was, I thought, a really smart thing to do, since people are obviously asking about it or inquiring online, searching for it, that their site tells you that we don't have it, but we're expecting it. I believe it was April 19th was when they were expecting it, and we pre-ordered it. Mom kind of instilled in me the waste not, want not philosophy, and it's something that her mom instilled in her. And so I'm going to do this before it gets to the point where we have to waste it. So, me not talking. Turned off the camera, but I got a bowl here that I'm putting this in. I'm just shredding this cabbage so that I can put it with some sliced or something carrots.
Mother used to she'd cook the cabbage and carrots together, and she would, you don't like to shred them, but that's what she would do. She'd shred the carrots.
Actually, Mom was just telling me that her mom used to do cooked cabbage and carrots, and she would shred the carrots. She said, you don't like that, so you might not do it. Actually, what I was thinking of doing was trying something. Neighbor gave us Mom a mandolin last week, and I was actually going to try it out and try the julienne setting for the carrots.
That's
just because I want to try it. And actually, it's an old mandolin, but I actually like it. I've seen others, newer ones, and this one beats it in my opinion. I got the mandolin out, it's out here, but for now I'm gonna peel the carrots. Mom doesn't have a garbage disposal in her sink. When I redid her kitchen, it was an expense that she wasn't able to justify. It could always be added later. There is power underneath, I think. However, we didn't put it in, and so that's why she does this. She's got a composter. We haven't been using it, but I think I'm going to start again, because why have it if you don't use it? And better than just tossing the food waste in the garbage, in my opinion. I mean, it goes to the dump and ends up being composted there anyway, but why not use it? Well, I thought I had the camera on and I didn't. But so far, I like the way this is working. I did just cut these. I'll have to shorten them, but this is a very nice maybe not for carrots because of the difficulty in using them. However, this does come in handy and works really well, and it's easy to hold. Oops, just slipped off. I didn't put a bowl on because I'm using the cutting board. These will have to be cut, but I can leave them longer than just running them through a grater or something. I can leave them several inches instead of just an inch and a half or so. That would what the grater would do. Well, that's what I just cut them at, was about an inch and a half. So I guess it doesn't really matter. But that's what I decided to do to use up this cabbage before it was all bad. Well, that tore through the carrot. I'll have to start it and try it again. Nope. I'll have to cut that one. Like I said, it's, in my opinion, better than other mandolins that I've seen. So I'm fairly happy with it. The carrots, I think, are the issue here, not the tool, because the carrots aren't allowing it to, they're not allowing that to grab. And I'm probably going to end up having to use the knife here in a bit, but for now I'm going to see if I can get this once more. No, partly. I can start them at least with this, and then I can do the ends. But it's still a neat little gadget. Like I said, I've seen them before that I just wasn't happy with. And that actually worked better. Just cutting them smaller at an angle, holding them differently. But didn't cut all the way through at that angle. I'll have to break them apart. Well, there's no substitute for a good knife. That's what I'm going to use here instead. It's amazing, all these kitchen gadgets that you can use something that you've already got to do the same thing. Just might take a little bit longer and not be quite as uniform, but it still does the job. So we're going to finish cutting these up with a knife. I'm going to get out another tool. One of my favorite tools. Actually, I'm going to do this differently. I'm going to use the smaller utility knife instead of the chef's knife. Okay, I'm going to use the chef's knife. I remember when I was first learning how to cut, being told that make everything uniform, and you know what? I think it looks more authentic when everything isn't uniform and it actually looks like it was cut by hand, not by a machine. And I actually think that size might be my preference to the much smaller size julienne that the mandolin does. Actually, Mom has something similar to a vegetable peeler that juliennes, but julienne's really small.
It's great for salad.
It's great for doing stuff for salads, like she just said. But for this, the knife works fine. And I actually don't mind cutting. There's something to me that's relaxing actually doing the prep work on the cooking. It's kind of like hand cranking the grain mill. Maybe not one that takes 30 or 40 minutes to grind a pound. I'm actually really excited for the Wonder Mill Junior. They say it does a cup and a quarter in a minute. So that means it would do a pound in about 3 minutes, based on the weight of flour. So I'm, like I said, kind of excited. I'm going to cut these up. I'm just going to put them away for now. I'm not going to cook them. Mom's just getting ready to go to church. It's 9:30 in the morning. We'll have these for I'll probably get these so that they're ready for lunch or dinner. I'm not sure what time she wants to eat, so I'll just have them ready so they can just be cooked and prepared when she is ready to use them. The last of the carrot. It's not all uniform. Some's a little bigger than others, but I actually, I like uniformity. However, I also like something that looks like somebody actually spent the time to prep it themselves instead of tossing it in the machine or buying it from somebody that tossed it in a machine. It's not that difficult, and it tastes just as good, if not better, because somebody did spend the time to go through and hand cut the fruits, vegetables, whatever the mill is. And now I'm going to put these aside, and I'm going to go load Mom's composter. She got a paper shredder here with some paper. I'm going to toss that in with this, and we're going to start composting. Definitely time. This is Mom's composter. It's just a smaller one she picked up at the. Sorry, Bella's in the background. She picked up at IFA, little Intermountain Farmer, and that was some cabbage and carrot peeling, and there's just some paper out of her shredder. This has been emptied, so it's nothing in it yet. We'll just keep adding to it. So we get it full and we can use some of the compost. The vegetables we just did. Here's the mandolin. I just rinsed it. It was in the drainer. And Mom and I both came to the consensus that a knife works just fine. So she says we'll donate this somewhere. It is a nice mandolin. It's just we're both experienced cooks and aren't afraid of using a knife and taking the little extra time that it might take. And in all actuality, I think it's safer to use a knife than to use that, because you don't risk cutting yourself because you turn away. Well, I guess you can turn away using a knife too, but typically people don't. I'm gonna put this away, put it in the fridge. I've got some pork chops that I've defrosted for her to cook when she's ready. Using vegetables just so they don't, well, the carrots weren't bad, but the cabbage, didn't want it to waste it. And you can always come up with a meal. I spend, I don't know, 10 minutes, not a lot of time, and there's the side to go with the meat that Mom's going to cook. And I'll love this, I'm sure. So, but I like vegetables. Okay, Mom was just teasing me. There's cream left over after I made the truffles, and I'm a real peanut butter person. And she said, you know, you can make some peanut butter truffles using peanut butter chips and a little bit of vanilla. So it looks like she's got me making peanut butter truffles. Ugh. Mom has a bucket that she has grains in, and just looking in there, she had a 2-pound bag of Bob's Red Mill whole wheat flour, and so I just sifted it. It got a little bit of flour in there still, but I'm going to take that. This is a little bit coarser than what I've been grinding, and then this is some of the brand that I've ground. I'm just going to mix these together and then put them back in the jars. So, guess I got to get something to mix it. Spoon will work. But this is just the bran that I've sifted off of whole wheat flour, both red and white wheat, and what was in the Bob's Red Mill. And now I'm going to get out a funnel and refill the jars. Just a note, I really love this funnel. It's a canning funnel that came from actually the local hardware store, but it's a one-piece stainless, and it has a large top. Even though it's for a narrow mouth jar, it's got a wide top, so it's easy to fill. But I'm not going to make you have to go through me doing this, so I'll speed up the video or stop it, or I don't know, something. Good idea. Mom's going to get me a cup instead of using the spoon. The spoon worked good to mix it, though. 2/3.
2/3?
Yeah. I prefer using a smaller cup. Mom handed me the 1-cup cup, and I asked her for the 2/3 cup because it's easier to handle with the funnel. And There was a recipe on the... Mom actually has a bag of wheat bran in there from Bob's Red Mill. And there was a recipe for molasses bran muffins that I'm going to have to look at because they sounded really good. Well, molasses. How could they not sound good? Just something I noted was that this whole wheat flour from Bob's Red Mill was coarser than what I've been grinding. It's probably supposed to be more of a gram flour, and what I'm grinding is just a whole wheat flour. However, it's really hard to set the grain mill that Mom's got. And when I try to do it coarse, it ends up either getting too coarse or going fine on me, just because it doesn't like to stay at anything but ultra fine, the finest setting. But we're going to play some more in the kitchen. There's the mix of the flours. I need to stir that. And this has got whole red wheat that's been sifted, whole white wheat, and it's actually got about 1.5 ounces of all-purpose flour that I put in by mistake. When I thought I was feeding sourdough, I was feeding flour. So, but there's flour. Let me just say I'm really happy with these sifters that I found at bakedeco.com. Very, very happy with these Vollum. They're a wonderful sifter. I've actually seen similar sifters used, although I believe they were the 10 or 12 inch that I saw being used in a bakery, and I always liked them. These I just set here to dry. I just washed them. Well, rinsed them. I didn't really wash them. But I really am loving these. Actually, so much so, the sticker that came off of them, I saved. I just put it on the box for the scale. But I'm really happy with these 2 Vollum sifters. This was a recipe that my grandma did, and my aunt had called, and Mom asked her about it. And she said that Grandma would fry the carrots in bacon grease, and then add, after they were getting soft, then add the cabbage, and then the moisture would come out. And so this is the way it was. I don't know. It was Grandma's potatoes and cabbage.
No,
but
Grandma's fried carrots and cabbage.
Excuse me. Grandma's fried carrots and cabbage. I don't know what the potato thing is. I guess we're doing potato famine or something. But this is Grandma's fried carrots and cabbage that I started this morning. Grandma grated the carrots. I just julienned them mostly by hand. But Mom served this with pork loin chops. It was wonderful. Thanks for watching. Perhaps cooking. Feel free to share, give me a thumbs up, or subscribe.